Hey guys, welcome back to another Bible reading video. My name is Jerry with Sanctified Supply Co. Today we're picking up in the book of Second Chronicles. This is part 2, and I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and we'll get right into it. So I did read this earlier, so I'm going to have to backtrack. We read about 6 chapters with the microphone off, but that's all right. I'm getting familiarized with these scriptures. Praise Yah. Chapter 7. Now when Solomon had made an end of praying, the fire came down from heaven and consumed the burnt offering and the sacrifices, and the glory of Yahweh filled the house. And the priests could not enter into the house of Yahweh, because the glory of Yahweh had filled Yahweh's house. And when all the children of Israel saw how the fire came down and the glory of Yahweh upon the house, they bowed themselves with their faces to the ground upon the pavement, and worshipped and praised Yahweh, saying, For he is good, for his mercy endures forever. Then the king and all the people offered sacrifices before Yahweh. And King Solomon offered a sacrifice of 22,000 oxen and 120,000 sheep. So the king and all the people dedicated the house of Elohim. And the priests waited on their offices, and the Levites also, with instruments of music of Yahweh, which David the king had made to praise Yahweh, because his mercy endures forever. Then David praised by their ministry, and the priests sounded trumpets before them, and all Israel stood. Moreover, Solomon hallowed the middle of the court that was before the house of Yahweh, for there he offered burnt offerings and the fat of the peace offerings, because the brazen altar which Solomon had made was not able to receive the burnt offerings and the meat offerings and the fat. Also at the same time Solomon kept the feast 7 days, and all Israel with him, a very great congregation, from the entering in of Hamath unto the river Egypt. And in the 8th day they made a solemn assembly, for they kept the dedication of the altar 7 days, and the feast 7 days. And on the 23rd day of the 7th month he sent the people away into their tents, glad and merry in heart for the goodness that Yahweh had showed unto David, and to Solomon, and to Israel his people. And Solomon finished the house of Yahweh and the king's house, and all that came into Solomon's heart to make in the house of Yahweh and in his own house, he prosperously effected. And Yahweh appeared to Solomon by night, and said unto him, I have heard thy prayer, and have chosen this place to myself for an house of sacrifice. If I shut up heaven that there is no rain, or if I command the locust to devour the land, or if I send pestilence among my people, if my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven and will forgive their sin and will heal their land. Now mine eyes shall be open, and my ears attent unto the prayer that is made in this place. For now have I chosen and sanctified this house, that my name may be there forever, and my eyes and mine heart shall be there perpetually. And as for thee, if thou wilt walk before me, as David thy father walked, and do according to all that I commanded thee, and shall observe my statutes and judgments, then will I establish the throne of thy kingdom according as I have covenanted with David thy father, saying, There shall not fail thee a man to be ruler in Israel. But if ye turn away and forsake my statutes and my commandments, which I have set before you, and shall go and serve other gods and worship them, then I will pluck them up by the roots out of my land which I have given them, and this house which I have sanctified for my name, which will I cast out of my sight, and will make it to be a proverb and a byword among all nations. And this house which is high shall be an astonishment to every one that passes by, that he will say, Why hath Yahweh done this unto this land and unto this house? And it shall be answered, because they forsook Yahweh Elohim of their fathers, which brought them out forth of the land of Egypt, and laid hold on other gods, and worshipped them, and served them. Therefore hath he brought all this evil upon them. Chapter 8. And it came to pass, let me check in with you guys. Hold on real quick. Moose, GR Cleve, and Carrie, good to see you guys. If you can hear me, I'll just keep on reading, because I did read for 30 minutes earlier with the microphone muted. Any thumbs up, and we'll just keep on chugging along. I did check the mic, but I thought I checked it last time also. All right, let's see. J.R. Cleve said, "Shalom, y'all. Shalom. What up, brother? You've been on our mind lately too, brother. I'll give you a call. Maybe tomorrow. I don't know. It seems like nobody in the chat. I guess I'll have to just go ahead and hope that we're recording. That's all right. Oops. Let's go back to that. Chapter 8. And it came to pass at the end of 20 years, wherein Solomon had built the house of Yahweh and his own house, that the cities which Hiram had restored to Solomon, Solomon built them, and caused the children of Israel to dwell there. And Solomon went to Hamath Zobah and prevailed against it. And he built Tadmor in the wilderness, and all the store cities which he built in Hamath. Also he built Beth-horon the upper, and Beth-horon the nether, fenced cities with walls, gates, and bars. And Baalath, and all the store cities that Solomon had, and all the chariot cities, and the cities of the horsemen, and all that Solomon desired to build in Jerusalem, and in Lebanon, and throughout all the land of his dominion. As for all the people that were left of the Hittites, and the Amorites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, which were not of Israel, but of the children who were left after them in the land, whom the children of Israel consumed not, them did Solomon make to pay tribute unto this day. But of the children of Israel did Solomon make no servants for his work, but they were men of war, and chief of his captains, and captains of his chariots and horsemen. And these were the chief of the King Solomon's officers, even 250 that bear rule over the people. And Solomon brought up the daughter of Pharaoh out of the city of David unto the house that he had built for her. For he said, My wife shall not dwell in the house of David, king of Israel, because the places are holy, whereunto the ark of Yahweh hath come. Then Solomon offered burnt offerings unto Yahweh on the altar of Yahweh, which he had built before the porch. Even after a certain rate every day, offering according to the commandment of Moses, on the Sabbaths, and on the new moons, and on the solemn feasts, 3 times a year, even in the feast of unleavened bread, and in the feast of weeks, and in the feast of tabernacles. And he appointed, according to the order of David his father, the courses of the priests to their service, and the Levites to their charges, to praise and minister before the priests, as the duty of every day required. The porters also by their courses at every gate, for so had David the man of Elohim commanded. And they departed not from the commandment of the king unto the priests and Levites concerning any matter, or concerning the treasures. Now all the work of Solomon was prepared unto the day of the foundation of the house of Yahuwah, and until it was finished, so the house of Yahweh was perfected. Then went Solomon to Ezion-Geber, and to Eloth at the seaside in the land of Edom. And Hiram sent him by the hands of his servants ships, the servants that had knowledge of the sea. And they went with their servants to Solomon to Ophir, and took thence 450 talents of gold, and brought them to King Solomon. Chapter 9. And when the queen of Sheba heard of the fame of Solomon, She came to prove Solomon with hard questions at Jerusalem, with a very great company, and camels that bear spices, and gold in abundance, and precious stones. And when she was come to Solomon, she consumed him with all that was in her heart. She communed him all that was in her heart. She asked him a lot of questions. Verse 2, and Solomon told her all her questions, and there was nothing hid from Solomon which he told her not. And when the queen of Sheba had seen the wisdom of Solomon, and the house that he had built, and the meat of his table, and the sitting of his servants, and the attendance of his ministers, and their apparel, his cupbearers also, and their apparel, and his ascent by which he went up into the house of Yahuwah, there was no more spirit in her. And she said to the king, it was a true report which I heard in mine own land of thine acts and of thy wisdom. Howbeit, I believed not their words until I came, and mine eyes had seen it. And behold, the one half of the greatness of thy wisdom has not been told me, for thou exceedest the fame that I heard. Happy are thy men, and happy are thy servants, which stand continually before thee, and hear thy wisdom. Blessed be Yahweh thy Elohim, which delighted in thee to set thee on his throne, to be king of Yahweh thy Elohim, because thy Elohim loved Israel to establish them forever. Therefore made he thee king over them, to do judgment and justice. And she gave the king 120 talents of gold, and of spices great abundance, and precious stones. Neither was there any such spice as the queen Sheba gave to King Solomon. And the servants also of Hiram, and the servants of Solomon, which brought gold from Ophir, brought algum trees and precious stones. And the king made of the algum trees terraces to the house of Yahweh, and to the king's palace, and harps and psalteries for singers. And there were none such seen before in the land of Judah. And King Solomon gave to the queen of Sheba all her desire, whatsoever she asked, beside that which she had brought unto the king. So she turned and went her way to her own land, she and her servants. Now the weight of gold that came to Solomon in 1 year was 636 talents of gold, beside that which chapmen and merchants brought. And all the kings of Arabia and governors of the country brought gold and silver to Solomon. And King Solomon made 200 targets of beaten gold. 600 shekels of beaten gold went into one target, and 300 shields made he of beaten gold. 300 shekels of gold went into one shield. And the king put them in the house of the forest of Lebanon. Moreover, the king made a great throne of ivory and overlaid it with pure gold. And there were 6 steps to the throne, with a footstool of gold, which were fastened to the throne, and stays on each side of the sitting place, and 2 lions standing by the stays. And 12 lions stood there on the one side, and on the other and 12 lions stood there upon the one side, on the other upon the 6 steps. There was not the like made in any kingdom. Bear with me, sorry about that. Verse 20, and all the drinking vessels of King Solomon were of gold, and all the vessels of the house of the forest of Lebanon were of pure gold. None were of silver, it was not anything counted in the days of Solomon. For the king's ships went to Tarshish with the servants of Hiram. Every 3 years once came the ships of Tarshish bringing gold and silver, ivory and apes and peacocks. And King Solomon passed all the kings of the earth in riches and wisdom. And all the kings of the earth sought the presence of Solomon to hear his wisdom that Elohim had put in his heart. And they brought every man his presents, vessels of silver and vessels of gold, and raiment, harnesses, and spices, horses and mules, a rate year by year. Verse 25. And Solomon had 4,000 stalls for horses and chariots, and 12,000 horsemen, whom he bestowed in the chariot cities and with the king of Jerusalem. And he reigned over all the kings from the river even unto the land of the Philistines, and to the border of Egypt. And the king made silver in Jerusalem as stones, and cedar trees made he as the sycamore trees that are in the low plains in abundance. And they brought into unto Solomon horses out of Egypt and out of all the lands. Now the rest of the acts of Solomon, first and last, are they not written in the book of Nathan the prophet, and of the and in the prophecy of Ahijah the Shilonite, and in the visions of Edo the seer against Jeroboam the son of Nebat? This is really interesting to me because I don't know about you guys, maybe it is just escaping my recollection, but I don't remember reading any of these books in the 66 canon. I don't know that I've even heard of them, to be honest. Maybe you guys have, or maybe they're in the Bible and I just didn't remember that. Verse 30. And Solomon reigned in Jerusalem over Israel 40 years. And Solomon slept with his fathers and was buried in the city of David his father, and Rehoboam his son reigned in his stead. Chapter 10. And Rehoboam went to Shechem, for to Shechem were all Israel come to make him king. And it came to pass, when Jeroboam the son of Nebat, who was in Egypt, whither he had fled from the presence of Solomon the king, heard it, that Jeroboam returned out of Egypt, and they sent and called him. So Jeroboam and all Israel came and spake to Rehoboam, saying, Thy father made our yoke grievous. Now therefore ease thou somewhat the grievous servitude of thy father, and his heavy yoke that he put on us, and we will serve thee. And he said unto them, Come again unto me after 3 days. And the people departed. And King Rehoboam took counsel with the old men that had stood before Solomon his father while he yet lived, saying, What counsel give ye me to return answer to these people? And he spake unto him, saying, If thou be kind if thou be kind to this people, and please them, and speak good words to them, they will be thy servants forever. But he forsook the counsel which the old men gave, and took counsel with the young men that were brought up with him, that stood before him. And he said unto them, What advice give ye that we may return answer to this people, which have spoken to me, saying, Ease somewhat the yoke that my father did put on us? And the young men that were brought up with him spake unto him, saying, Thus shalt thou answer the people that spake unto thee, saying, Thy father made our yoke heavy, but make thou it somewhat lighter for us. Thus shalt thou say unto them, My little finger shall be thicker than my father's loins. For whereas my father put a heavy yoke upon you, I will put more to your yoke. My father chastised you with whips, but I will chastise you with scorpions. And Jeroboam and all the people came to Rehoboam on the 3rd day, as the king bade, saying, Come again to me on the 3rd day. And the king answered them roughly. And King Rehoboam forsook the counsel of the old men, and answered them after the advice of the young men, saying, My father made your yoke heavy, but I will add thereto. My father chastised you with whips, but I will chastise you with scorpions. Now the king hearkened not unto the people, for the cause was of Elohim, that Yahweh might perform his word, which he spoke by the hand of Ahijah the Shilonite and Jeroboam the son of Nebat. And when all Israel saw that the king would not hearken unto them, the people answered the king, saying, What portion have we in David? And we have none inheritance in the son of Jesse. Every man to your tents, O Israel. And now, David, see to thine own house. So all Israel went to their tents. But as for the children of Israel that dwelt in the cities of Judah, Rehoboam reigned over them. And then King Rehoboam sent Hadoram, that was over the tribute, and the children of Israel stoned him with stones that he died. But King Rehoboam made speed to get him up to his chariot, and flee to Jerusalem. And Israel rebelled against the house of David unto this day. I feel like that's a full stop almost. Chapter 11. And when Rehoboam was come to Jerusalem, he gathered from the house of Judah and Benjamin 180,000 chosen men, which were warriors to fight against Israel, that he might bring the kingdom again to Rehoboam. But the word of Yahweh came to Shemaiah, the man of Elohim, saying, we can't just gloss past that, right? I'm just going to highlight it for a second. There we go. Verse 3. Speak unto Rehoboam the son of Solomon, king of Judah, and to all Israel in Judah and Benjamin, saying, Thus said Yahweh, ye shall not go up, nor fight against your brethren. Return every man to his house, for this thing is done of me. And they obeyed the words of Yahweh, and returned from going against Jeroboam. And Rehoboam dwelt in Jerusalem, and built cities for defense in Judah. He built even Bethlehem and Edom, or Etam, and Tekoa, and Bethzur, and Shoko, and Adullam, and Gath, and Marashah, and Ziph, and Adoraim, and Lachish, and Ezekah, and Zorah, and Aijalon, and Hebron, which are in Judah and in Benjamin, fenced cities. And he fortified the strongholds, and put captains in them, and store of victual, and of oil and wine. And in every several city he put shields and spears, and made them exceeding strong, having Judah and Benjamin on his side. And the priests and the Levites that were all in all Israel resorted to him out of all their coasts. For the Levites left their suburbs and their possessions, and came to Judah and Jerusalem. For Jeroboam and his sons had cast them off from executing the priest's office unto Yahuwah. And he ordained him priests of the high places, and for the devils, and for the calves which he had made. And after them, out of all the tribes of Israel, such as set their hearts to seek Yahweh Elohim of Israel, came to Jerusalem to sacrifice unto Yahweh of their offering, to Yahweh Elohim of their fathers. Excuse me. Verse 17. So they strengthened the kingdom of Judah, and made Rehoboam the son of Solomon strong. 3 years. For 3 years they walked in the way of David and Solomon. And Rehoboam took him Mahalath, the daughter of Jeremoth, the son of David, to wife, and Abihail, the daughter of Eliab, the son of Jesse, which bare him children, Jeush, and Shamariah, and Zaham. And after he took Maacah, the daughter of Absalom, which bare him Abijah, and Attai, and Ziza, and Shalomith. And Rehoboam loved Maacah, the daughter of Absalom, above all his wives and his concubines, for he took 18 wives and 80 concubines, and begat 28 sons and 80 daughters. And Rehoboam made Abijah, the son of Maacah, the chief, to be ruler among his brethren, for he thought to make him king. And he dealt wisely, and dispersed of all his children throughout all the countries of Judah and Benjamin unto every fenced city, and he gave them victual in abundance, and he desired many wives. Go figure. He's just not done with the many wives yet. 18 is not enough. Chapter 12. And it came to pass, when Rehoboam had established the kingdom and had strengthened himself, he forsook the law of Yahweh, and all Israel with him. And it came to pass, so he only made it like 3 years, I guess is the last update we got on him. Verse 2. And it came to pass that in the 5th year, of the king Rehoboam, Shishak, king of Egypt, came up against Jerusalem, because they had transgressed against Yahweh. See, that's just like the first thing that happens is Yah lifts his hand of protection off the people. And now, verse 3, with 1,200 chariots and 80,000 men, And the people were without number that came with him out of Egypt, the Lubims and the Sukims and the Ethiopians. And he took the fenced cities which pertained to Judah and came to Jerusalem. Then came Shemaiah the prophet to Rehoboam and to the princes of Judah that were gathered together to Jerusalem because of Shishak, and said unto them, Thus said Yahweh, Ye have forsaken me, and therefore have I also left you in the hand of Shishak. But it's not over. Verse 6, whereupon the princes of Israel and the king humbled themselves, and they said, Yahweh is righteous. And when Yahweh saw that they humbled themselves, the word of Yahweh came to Shemaiah, saying, They have humbled themselves. Therefore I will not destroy them, but I will grant them some deliverance, and my wrath shall not be poured out upon Jerusalem by the hand of Shishak. Nevertheless, they shall be his servants, and that they may know my service and the service of the kingdoms of the countries. So Shishak, king of Egypt, came up against Jerusalem and took away the treasures of the house of Yahweh and the treasures of the king's house. He took all. He carried away all the shields of gold which Solomon had made, instead of which King Rehoboam made shields of brass and committed them into the hands of the chief of the guard, that he kept the entrance of the king's house. And when the king entered into the house of Yahweh, the guard came and fetched them, and brought them again unto the guard chamber. And when he humbled himself, the wrath of Yahweh turned from him, that he would not destroy him altogether, and also in Judah things went well. So King Rehoboam strengthened himself in Jerusalem and reigned, for Rehoboam was 41 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 17 years in Jerusalem, the city which Yahweh had chosen out of all the tribes of Israel to put his name there. And his mother's name was Naamah, an Ammonitess. And he did evil because he prepared not his heart to seek Yahweh. I feel like these books make it abundantly clear that he will not continue to honor a whoring bride. Verse 15. Now, the acts of Rehoboam, first and last, are they not written in the book of Shemaiah the prophet and of Iddo the seer concerning genealogies? And there were wars between Rehoboam and Jeroboam continually. And Rehoboam slept with his fathers and was buried in the city of David, and Abijah his son reigned in his stead. I do think that the thing that stuck out to me the most in this was there was mercy when they would truly humble, and like that made all the difference. Shalom, Bobby Thorns. Hey, good to see you, brother. So I'm glad you guys could hear me. I'm assuming you could, because J.O. Shalom, bro. It's good to see you guys. Got an active chat. That's super cool. Well, I'm going to jump off here. I was not planning on going live tonight, but my upload, I had my mic muted when I uploaded the video earlier today. So I'm going to jump off here because I've been working all day long, and I would love to go see my wife. So as much as I love seeing you guys, I love seeing her more. But goodbye for now. Shalom, y'all. I love you, and I'll see you in the next stream.